Now, when they get to a certain point in launch, when they feel that they are no longer need the launch abort system, then they fire these bolts, and there are these little rockets on it, and it detaches itself from the Orion spacecraft, and it just jettisons itself away off into space. So they actually have a video of that during this test mission. It's a pretty cool video. It happens really fast. Hello, everybody. How are you there? It's Kelly, your solar system ambassador. Oh my gosh, my computer is freaking out. How are you doing out there? I am back with another Cosmic Monday quick chat for you. NASA did another press conference today regarding the Artemis I mission, and it's going really, really well. It's almost over. So I wanted to share a few things they talked about at the press conference today with you. And of course, I have my slides. So again, hello. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, my name is Kelly, and I am a solar system ambassador for NASA and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory here in Pasadena, California. It's my joy as a science enthusiast to bring the missions of NASA to the public in a fun and understandable way. So let me show you some of those slides from the press conference that they did this afternoon. So we are on day 20 of the Artemis mission. And from this graphic that I showed in one of my previous videos, we are now in the final stages of the mission. And so we're doing the blue loop at this point. Actually, we're done with the loop. Yesterday, they fired the engines and they did what's called the return powered flyby, or the RPF. And so that is the last major burn of the engine to get it on a trajectory back to Earth. They also use the gravity of the moon to slingshot it around. And so it will do its now 6-day journey on its way back to Earth. And they did the RPF yesterday, and it went flawlessly. I think they said that they've only had to fire the engines a total of 17 seconds at any point throughout the whole mission, which is incredible for this entire mission, this test mission. But they said that they are going to need to be able to fire that engine for longer on deeper, longer missions in the future. So while they said that they've only needed to do 17, they would like to do up to 100 minutes for one burn in the future. Now, as I said, we're on the blue loop on the way back to Earth. And these are some of the photos that the Orion spacecraft, the cameras on board of the solar arrays, took on the backside of the moon as it was doing the return powered flyby thrust of the engine. So these were some pretty spectacular photos that NASA was just in awe of. They call them the goodbye to the moon photos because this is the last time that they'll be able to photograph the moon for this particular mission using the cameras that are on the solar arrays. Now, since we have the end of the mission coming up this coming Sunday on December 11th, NASA, in conjunction with the US Navy, have been hard at work doing a recovery dress rehearsal these last several days off the coast of San Diego. And these are just some of the photos from the video that they had released. So they have a mock-up of the Orion spacecraft that they can practice with. And if you see those red balloons that they're at the top of the spacecraft mock-up there, that is just in case anything should happen when during splashdown, that if the spacecraft end up upside down, those balloons inflate, they're like airbags, and it will right the spacecraft upward so the astronauts inside won't be upside down strapped to their seats. Now, because this is a test mission, they're going to be doing a lot of tests. I think they're going to keep it powered up for about 2 hours before they put all these tethers on it and then bring it back to this gigantic naval carrier that they have, because they want to do additional tests for those 2 hours, um, just to check a bunch of readings from coming back into the Earth's atmosphere, how much heat built up on the outside of the spacecraft, on the inside of the spacecraft. They have a bunch of sensors going on, so they want to keep it running for as long as possible. As well as right before they hit the Earth's atmosphere, they're going to jettison the service module. And we will get into that later this week with another video. And that is a separate part of the spacecraft that has the solar panels on it, with a lot of the avionics. It has the engine on it and everything. So they want to do as many tests as possible between now and Sunday with the service module, while they still have it before they jettison off into space. And it's just an exciting mission. It has been going so well thus far. NASA's extremely happy with everything that's been going on. And this has just been I shouldn't say a classic test mission, but most everything has been working very well, above expectations. There have been some weird incidences that have happened, and they're going to be going over the data regarding those, and to see what would happen. One of the examples that they gave today, which I'm going to study up a little bit more on it so we can talk about it more in the future, but some of, like, if the way they described it is, if you were go into a room and you turn the light switch on, the light comes on. The light switch is what tells, allows the power to get to the lamp to turn the light on. So they found that there were some, I shouldn't say switches, but for lack of a better term, there were some powered um, components on the spacecraft that were commanded to open, which would provide power to certain other items on the spacecraft. Yet they have no record, no data of those systems. There was no command to tell them to turn on. So it was just this sort of ghost anomaly that these valves, these switches just opened by themselves, allowing power to flow to certain components, yet there was no command sent. The spacecraft, they don't know if somehow it turned itself on, but they have several redundancies for all of these systems. So nothing was in jeopardy. It was just some weird phenomenon that happened. And so they're going to be poring over that data for a really long time to figure out what happened. And they said, one of the reporters asked during the press conference what would have happened should there have been a crew on board when this anomaly happened. Would the crew have been alerted to the anomaly? What would have happened? How they have responded? And they did say that yes, there would have been caution lights on the instrument panels, letting the crew know that there was some sort of anomaly going on. And as I said, they have redundancies, so there was no jeopardy to the spacecraft or any of the electronics during this anomaly. It was just these things have come up left and right. I shouldn't say left and right. That's not right. Everything's going really well, but little things like this have come up because it has been a test mission. And I wanted to show you one last really cool thing. They've been providing a lot of video and photos throughout the whole mission. And one of the really cool videos that I want to share with you right now is the launch escape system. So when you see the whole stack of the SLS and the Orion sitting on the very top, there's a big cone with a big spike at the very top, and that is the launch abort system. So during initial launch, if something were to happen, that launch abort system, which is attached to the Orion spacecraft, if they feel that the crew or the spacecraft is in any danger of it blowing up, knock on wood, so that launch abort system is attached to the Orion spacecraft and will pull the spacecraft away from the rocket should that blow up, and pull the crew and the capsule to safety for a safe splashdown somewhere in the ocean. So when they get to a certain point in launch, when they feel that they are no longer need the launch abort system, then they fire these bolts, and there are these little rockets on it, and it detaches itself from the Orion spacecraft, and it just jettisons itself away off into space. So they actually have a video of that during this test mission. It's a pretty cool video. It happens really fast. So that means that the crew will not be able to see out the windows on launch from the launch pad. The windows are completely covered with the launch abort system because it's like a cone on top of the Orion spacecraft. So you'll see what I mean, because eventually when this the rockets fire and it leaves, you can see the rocket engines firing from the window. So it's a really cool video. Let me show you. There's no audio, but I just thought it would be really cool and I wanted to share it with you. So as I said, the windows are blackened out. You can't see anything because that capsule is on top of the spacecraft. So eventually what it's going to do is it fires its rockets and you see it just taking off there off into space, which is just such a really cool thing that the astronauts are going to be able to see during launch. So I'm hoping they'll be able to watch that, but they'll probably be so busy watching telemetry and making sure that the launch is going according to plan. So, well, that's all I have for you on this Cosmic Monday quick chat. We are day 20 of the 25 and a half days mission for the Artemis I test mission. Everything is going so well. NASA's so happy. And they're going to be doing another press conference this coming Thursday. The crew between NASA, Mission Control, and the crew that is already in San Diego, they're going to be watching weather patterns very, very closely, and they have alternate spots for the splashdown on Sunday. The first one is being off the coast of San Diego, but they said today some of the backup splashdown locations will be up the coast a little bit further, closer to possibly Catalina Island. And I've been to Catalina many times. So I'm waiting to find out on Thursday what landing site they are considering. And I'm hoping they will be able to determine if anybody along the coast of California will be able to see at least the chutes deployed, the main chutes, because that will be something really spectacular to see with the naked eye. But it might be a little too far out to be able to see that, and it's a little teeny spacecraft. So fingers crossed, that would be great. I will race down to San Diego if I have to early because it's splashdown, I believe, is scheduled for around 9:40 in the morning Pacific Coast time. So, yeah, I'll be back later this week with more updated information regarding the Artemis I mission and the splashdown of the Orion spacecraft. So, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Let me know. I'm happy to share any information that I can dig up for you if I haven't presented it already in any of my recent videos about the mission. So we learn together. But otherwise, I will be back later this week with more videos, and I hope you're doing really well out there. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you very soon.